What's up, everybody? It's Nick with TechRaptor, and this is the weekly rewind. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Fall Guys has been purchased by Epic Games. While this is really good news for the indie game studio, this deal also includes developers Irregular Corporation and Fortitude Games. The price hasn't been revealed yet, but it's safe to say that this game probably costs a lot of V-Bucks. And no, Fall Guys isn't leaving Steam anytime soon, so don't worry about that. Although, to be fair, the same thing happened with Rocket League, and well, go try to buy Rocket League on Steam now. PC port aside though, the game is still planned to be released on the Xbox and the Nintendo Switch, so if you're waiting for it on there, you're still in luck. It's just gonna say Epic Games before you play it, so yeah. I'm sure there'll be a Fortnite skin or something pretty soon. Either way, this is really good news for the Fall Guys developers because quite frankly, the game's kind of fallen out of favor recently. No, I didn't actually mean to make that pun. I couldn't think the right word to say for that. Yeah, so getting a kick from Epic Games and their seemingly endless amount of money, and also the cross promotion from what is still arguably one of the biggest games in the world, Fortnite. Yeah, this is only a good thing for Fall Guys, and if you're a fan of it, sick. If not, then I don't know. Let's move on to the next story. It looks like Elden Ring has finally been leaked. And just so you know, I won't be showing any of that on screen right now because quite frankly, the footage looks like garbage and it's not official. That's just not cool. In the leaked trailer, we got a sliver of backstory in the form of a voiceover, as well as a little bit of gameplay footage. While this looks like another Soulsborne game, there is a horse, so that's cool. And the art style is pretty different. So yeah, it's still pretty exciting. Either way, people have been clamoring for this game considering it's a very long-awaited joint venture between Dark Souls developer From Software and Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin. And while there are a few other details in the trailers such as combat styles, characters, whatnot, regardless, while all of this is still speculative, there is a glimmer of hope that this is real due to the game's publisher Bandai Namco recently trademarking something called Bandai Namco Next, and just from the sound of it, I think we can all guess what that probably is. So here's to hoping, or else they're just gonna show off a new Pac-Man, or I don't even know what Bandai really has. Either way, it's pretty exciting. I feel like I saw this game get announced like 500 years ago, so it'll be really nice to see something coming from it. Until then, we'll keep you updated if any news comes out, and let's just hope for the best. All right, let's move on to the next story. Last week, we got a PlayStation State of Play, which, it was all right, but there were 3 games announced that were pretty exciting. The first one was a Final Fantasy VII Remake update, as well as 2 additional brand new Final Fantasy VII titles that, quite frankly, I don't think anyone actually saw coming. So let's get into it. First, we have the next-gen version of Final Fantasy VII Remake coming to PlayStation 5, which I guess is current-gen, but whatever. This new version of the game, dubbed Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, will not only feature almost non-existent load times, better textures, and 60 frames per second, but it will also feature an additional Yuffie-based campaign that takes place during the events of the main game. While this is amazing news and shows that developer Square Enix is hard at work on Final Fantasy VII, they also announced 2 mobile games, Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis and Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier. Ever Crisis is a retelling of the entire compilation of Final Fantasy VII, which includes the base game, Crisis Core, Dirge of Cerberus, Before Crisis, Advent Children, that one novel that nobody read, and the anime that's basically the hidden cutscene of Final Fantasy VII with a little bit more added to it. It's actually pretty cool. If you haven't watched it, you probably should. This is a major surprise since the game itself will have a similar art direction as the original PS1 title, and include turn-based combat. But when you're in combat, it looks closer to Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I guess makes sense because in the original game, when you're in the overworld, the graphics kind of looked really not great. But then when you're fighting, the graphics actually looked really good. So yeah, this is just a continuation of that. Look, I love it already and I need it now. So yeah, let's get that out ASAP. The last Final Fantasy VII game is one that I think nobody saw coming. First Soldier is a battle royale where you'll need to, battle royale as a soldier candidate. The game takes place well before the events of Final Fantasy VII and features cameos from a young Sephiroth, Shinra, and probably these guys. With the massive success of Call of Duty Mobile, PUBG, and Fortnite, if you're not on Apple,
good morning!
Battle Royales on mobile platforms aren't a crazy concept, and making that based on Final Fantasy VII, while it is pretty wild, does kind of work if you think about the story itself. The gameplay also looks pretty cool, but we've only seen what's in this trailer, and for all we know, this could be terrible or this could end up dethroning Fortnite. You never know. And, I don't know. I'm always willing to try something new. I know some people are totally turned off by the idea, but yeah, it could be cool. And hey, if it's free, you may as well give it a shot. Either way though, it seems like the Final Fantasy VII remake that everyone would have assumed would have been made is coming to phones. And then the actual Final Fantasy VII Remake, which we only still have one chapter to, is finally getting some new content, and hopefully this leads to episode 2 coming out way faster than the first one did, because quite frankly, I don't think I can wait until I'm 40 for part 2. As always, we'll keep you updated with any more developments on any of these stories, but that's pretty much it for this episode. So until next time, be sure to do that thing that everyone says to do at the end of the video, but don't feel pressure to do it because that is stupid. And yeah, go do something nice with someone, and most importantly, take care of yourself. All right. Later.